This past weekend, Outbreak went down in Jefferson City, Missouri, and it drew lots of talent from the surrounding area, most notably from Kansas City, as well as some surrounding scenes like Springfield or Columbia. Today, if you weren't aware, is Thanksgiving, so happy Turkey Day to everyone who celebrates it, and to everyone who doesn't, I hope you still got off work today. Even though the grind never stops, the grind should at least be a tad easier on holidays. So that's why today, I'll be going over the 5 things from Outbreak that you should know. Before we begin, just a reminder that if you want to support me monetarily, you can do so by using the links to my Patreon or channel memberships in the description below. With that out of the way, let's get started. Number 5. AAsPhenomenal Upset. Asita is a Rob main and one of the best players from the mid-Missouri area, being ranked number 1 in Columbia previously and currently trying to achieve a similar ranking in Springfield. Asita came into the event as the 7th seed, starting off the weekend by getting through pools, defeating Sarge, Substellar, and Magswish 3-0, as well as defeating Kansas City Luigi main Hazardous 3-1, and lastly defeating Vope in a close Game 5 set. This meant that Asita moved into top 16 from winner's side, and it was here that Asita got its best upset of the tournament, defeating the 2nd seed of the entire event, Toffee, in a close Game 5 set, defeating a mix of Toffee's signature Mega Man and even the Wario as well to make it into top 8 from winner's side. Unfortunately, Asita would lose his next 2 sets, losing 3-0 to Spade in winner's semis and then to Justin23 in losers quarterfinals for a final placement of 5th as the 7th seed.
Oh! I was worried one of them probably wasn't going to get back up.
Near infinite recovery from both of these characters.
That is true.
Oh,
Rob
in the back
gets
air! Wow.
You could hear the other room going hype.
Number 4. Chumples' secondaries. Chumples is a Kansas City Shulk main who I've actually made an entire video on before, covering how he is the greatest player of all time ever and definitely isn't an April Fool's joke. Either way, Chumples is actually most known for his Shulk, but Chumples has some pretty solid secondaries that made themselves known at Outbreak. Chumples came into the event as the 6th seed, starting off the weekend by getting through pools, defeating Liliamo, Jet Soul 8, Red Sea, and Kansas City Daisy main Cossack, all in 3-0s, before lastly defeating Yeetus 3-1, the only game Chumples dropped in pools. Unfortunately, since game data wasn't really reported, we can't be quite sure who Chumples played in these pool sets. However, Chumples next moved into top 16, where he would lose to Despade 3-1, but this set provides some interesting insight, as Chumples was able to defeat Despade's Bayo with Shulk before Despade swapped to their co-main Sora and took the rest of the set with it, even in the face of Chumples' Dark Pit, the first secondary we've seen today. After this though, Chumples dropped down into losers and fought Sora main WK9, and after going down 0-2 versus WK9 and Shulk Sora, Chumples swapped over to his second secondary, going Roy and evening up the set before going back to Shulk in Game 5 to bring it home and make it into top 8 from loser's side. Once here, it seems as though the Shulk went nearly extinct as Chumples first got an amazing 3-1 victory over Toffee, the 2nd seed, using solo Dark Pit, before next moving into loser's quarters and having to fight his younger brother, Ploopy, the boy genius himself. And after going up 2-0 in a Kazuya Ditto versus Ploopy, don't ask, Ploopy swapped back to his actual main, Game & Watch. But Chumples actually managed to close out the set with Dark Pit. Unfortunately, this was as far as Chumples would go, as he moved into losers semifinals and got 3-0'd by Justin23, with not even the Shulk being able to tame Justin's Yoshi. This meant that Chumples ended his run at Outbreak at 4th place as the 6th seed, his best out-of-state performance by far, and doing so using mostly secondaries. Let me tell you, Shulk mains are in shambles. Don't hit them up.
Fair, like just the edge in one field.
That's it. Oh, no, it's not.
Good DI, good DI.
There it
Okay.
is. Surely.
All right.
Chumples takes it.
Number 3. Devil Silsey, Silsey Mishima. By far the most notable run at Outbreak this past weekend was that of Silsey, known as the Prince of Como. Silsey has had tremendous performances at tournaments around the Midwest, like fighting Ghosts for example, but this run at Outbreak was the best one yet. Silsey came into the event as the 8th seed, starting off the weekend by getting through pools, defeating WK9, Cheesehead, K-Cool, as well as defeating Kansas City Falco main Scotty Macon, all in 3-0s, lastly getting a 3-1 win on medals, making it into top 16, winner's side. It was here that Silsey would get their best victory of the tournament, defeating Justin23 in a 3-1, upsetting the 1st seed of the entire tournament. This meant that Silsey moved into top 8 winner's side, but Silsey wasn't done getting upsets, as Silsey used a combined mix of Kazuya and their secondary Mii Brawler to get another upset win over the boy genius Ploopy in a Game 5 victory. However, Silsey would unfortunately lose his next 2 sets, losing 3-1 to Despade in winners finals and lastly losing 3-0 to Justin23 in the run back in losers finals for a final placement of 3rd as the 8th seed.
Get some with that. Nice.
Oh, that's it.
That was a great
That's
combination.
Silsey takes it.
You were sitting there expecting every time he shielded out a grab.
Number 2. Justin23's flawless losers run. Justin23 is the Kansas City Yoshi main who was recently signed by the brand new esports team coming out of Kansas City, Let Me Fly, created by Kyoto Hawk to help sponsor KC players to go out of state more. Their only 2 players as of right now are Rocky and the aforementioned Justin23. Justin23, as mentioned earlier, came into the event as the first seed, starting off the weekend by sweeping pools without dropping a game, defeating Tac Shooter, Basic, Grandmac, Zesta, Ash, and Kansas City Incineroar main Moeko, all in 3-0 victories. Justin23 moved into top 16 from winners, where, as we just mentioned, he lost to Silsey 3-1, dropping into losers. But this is where Justin's story begins, as he decided to not just make grands, but do so in spectacular fashion. First, Justin23 defeated Yeetus 3-0 to make it into top 8. After this, Justin tore through the losers bracket, defeating T.O. and Roy Main 7 3-0, before next defeating Aceta 3-0 like we mentioned earlier, as well as Chumples 3-0 like we've discussed before lastly defeating Silsey in the runback in one more 3-0, again like we just discussed, making it into grand finals from losers side.
Not here though. Don't be in that situation. You have rage. You don't want to be above him. Get down. Did he hit him with that?
Stop, yeah.
That egg hit up there, which I think was... Oh, just be quiet.
There you go. Going back, going low. That was the player. Went that build to it. Wow. A decisive.
Before we get to our number 1 spot, let's go over a few honorable mentions. Kansas City Jigglypuff main Sushi Llama defeats 2nd seed of their round-robin pool, Nodinio, in a 3-1. Nodinio, who we just mentioned, makes 13th place with solo Bowser Jr. Robin main Serenavita places 9th after 2 Game 5s back-to-back with solo Robin. And finally, for our last spot, number 1, Despade Sora, aka Cuslay. Despade is KC's premier Bayonetta main, which is probably what you know Despade for. However, the informed know Despade for something else, as the best Sora in North America. At Gateway Legends, Despade made history for the first time ever that someone has fought a PGR ranked player, lost game 1 with their main, swapped to Sora, and then proceeded to actually win the rest of the set with Sora. That historic achievement, and much more, led to Despade Sora being, somewhat jokingly, named by Apollo Kage as Cuslay, as an homage to Kameme and the fact that Despade is the ITG IRL. Despade came into the event as the 3rd seed, starting off the weekend by sweeping pools flawlessly, defeating Zhu, Murph, Trumpet Trash, 151, Jet, and Zepha, all in 3-0 victories. This meant that Despade made top 16 winner's side, where he defeated Chumples 3-1 like we mentioned earlier, primarily using Sora after having lost game 1 with Bayonetta. This meant that Despade made it into top 8 winner's side and made grands easily, defeating Aceta 3-0 with Bayonetta, before next defeating Silsey 3-1, both of which being sets we've already covered. However, it wasn't over yet, as Justin23 had just defeated Silsey in losers finals and now made his way back up into grands for a crack against Despade. This is a matchup as old as time, and it's usually grands in a lot of KC locals. Additionally, this is the runback from grands of Fighting Ghosts, where if you remember, Justin23 had quickly 3-0'd Despade in a somewhat anticlimactic finish after Despade had reverse 3-0'd Colorado 8 in losers finals. However, that was Bayonetta Yoshi. This time, Despade had something else up their checkered sleeve. That something was Despade's secret weapon, Cuslay. And now here comes the bad news. I don't have grands. I know, the stream was running perfectly at Outbreak until grands, where the stream cut off in the middle of game 1. So yeah, I think YouTube has it out for Despade for some reason. First, the anticlimactic grands at Fighting Ghost, and now in what is supposed to be Despade's moment of triumph, we don't even have the VOD. So, Despade defeated Justin23 in a close Game 5 set, eliminating Justin23 at 2nd place and becoming your champion of Outbreak. And while the graphic and public opinion all refers to Despade by their Bayonetta, you and I, dear viewers, we know better. We know of Cuslay. Sorry about the VOD issues, dear viewers, just know that I am just as angry about it as you are. But I bet that none of us are as upset as Despade will be when he finds out about this. That's going to be it for today's video. Before I go, shout out to my patrons Seth Laster, Fowsco333, and my tier 2 patrons Iltis and Diamond Blaze. Additionally, shout out my YouTube members Storm Tripper, Loco Soko, Mattoon, Diarrhea, Dicho Jr., Defective, Orangabang, and my tier 2 members Mike G and Wu-Tang Forever. If you want to support me using either of these methods, links are below. Tomorrow I'll be covering the final Grand Slam from Canada, but until then, I've been Mr. Mice, and thank you all so much for watching.